Hi everyone, I'm Kelly, and today let's talk about my backpacking and camping gear. So I've been on a few one-night backpacking trips in Washington and a good amount of car camping trips in both California and Washington. And I feel like I'm just an average hiker. I'm not an ultralight hiker or anything like that either. So all this gear has been useful with the type of hiker that I am and the trips that I've gone on. So I hope that this helps you with any gear that you might be looking for to go backpacking and camping. Also, my baby's asleep in the room next door, so I'm like kind of whispering, and hopefully we can get a lot of this done before she wakes up. So first we'll start with my main gear. So this is my backpack here, the Kelty Red Wing 44-liter backpack. And my husband has the same backpack, but his is the 50-liter. I love this backpack for both camping, backpacking, but also to take on airplanes because I feel like it compresses down pretty well. There's a lot of pockets. So you have that front pocket, the top, two on the side, and then you have like pockets for water bottles or whatever, and then a pretty big inside. And I like that, let me open it here. I like that it opens up like this, so it's easy for me to like put stuff in and take stuff out, because I know some other backpacks you just stuff everything from the top and go down, but I like that I can open it flat like this. Also, there's this little flap here which I like using to stuff in like a jacket or something that I can quickly put on or take off depending on how hot or cold I am. Something that I do wish I had though with this backpack is some sort of strap like on top. Like if this detached and could kind of like clip over here, so I could like attach like a sleeping bag, part of the tent, or like a bear canister like on the top of the bag, or if I had some like kind of like bungee cord type stuff on the outside, I could just like stuff more things in there. But everything in this backpack is basically like enclosed, so you can't really like just attach anything on the outside, which does make it good for bringing it on the airplane and traveling and stuff. Oh, another thing that I wish this also had was hip belt pockets right here, just for easy access, like for my phone or chapstick or whatever. So yeah, this is the only backpack that I've ever used, and it's treated me well for all of my backpacking trips. So this is my fanny pack. So it doesn't come with like a hip belt strap, so you can use your own. My day pack has straps that clip up on the chest and then down here at the waist. So I'll use that waist strap and put it through these loops. So this is my day pack. Also the only day pack that I've ever used and have had for many, many years. That's an Osprey Daylight day pack. I'm trying to think of what to say. So it has two pockets. There's one up at the top here, and then it has one more bigger pouch. And in the back, there's a spot for a water bladder, which I haven't used. Something that is kind of weird about this backpack though is like these pockets are like super angled, so sometimes like with the water bottles that I put in here, they can easily fall out. And my fix for that is to just, at least with my Nalgene, is like when I put it in here, I'll clip this through the loop of the cap just to secure the Nalgene so it doesn't fall out. But yeah, I love this backpack, love the color. I feel like it stands out well in pictures. And I've put little pins on my backpack from various national parks. So these are my trekking poles, my Black Diamond trekking poles. I did not use trekking poles for backpacking trips or even hikes before. My first and only time using these so far was for my Mount Rainier backpacking trip where we hiked a section of the Wonderland Trail. And my primary reason for that was because I was pregnant. So I definitely didn't want to fall. So I used these just for extra stability. So this is my rain cover for my backpack. It's just this big like piece of fabric that you'll put on top of your backpack just to protect it from the rain. So this is our tent, the REI Half Dome 2+. It's the only tent that we have ever had. And we got this in 2016 because of Coachella camping. So this is my sleeping bag, stored in this trash bag because I don't have an official storage bag for it. If you didn't know, for down sleeping bags, it's best to store them in a bag like that so it's not in the compression sack. And I believe that's so your sleeping bag stays nice and fluffy. But yeah, this is my Kelty sleeping bag. the only sleeping bag that I've had, at least for camping. What I used before with car camping was just those like generic sleeping bags that you get from Walmart, but those are super, super bulky. But this one compresses down pretty small, so I am able to take this backpacking with me and it'll fit in my backpack. So basically, like, you can close yourself up, but if you get a little bit warm, you can open up the zipper at the bottom so some air can get in at your feet. So this is our sleeping pad, a 2-person sleeping pad. Or if you've gone camping and you think it's like super uncomfortable, try a sleeping pad out, because I feel like that is a game changer, and I didn't really appreciate this until ours had a hole in it. So we were on the hunt for another sleeping pad. So this is my camping pillow. It's just one from REI. You just blow it up like this, and that's the pillow. Something that I didn't know until like last year was this sack turns into a pillowcase. Cute. Anthony has a bigger pillow. I don't know exactly where it is, but Anthony uses a bigger pillow and he prefers that one. So for backpacking, the only type of meals that I've had are these freeze-dried meals. So all you need for these is hot water, sometimes just cold water, depending on the type of meal, and then it'll rehydrate your food. So for the food situation, all that we bring, and Anthony and I share this, is the jet boil. Basically, we use this to heat water up for our food and also for coffee. So I bring this fork, which I thrifted at Goodwill. I also have a spoon that matches it. Anthony got this one from REI. This is also nice because these bags can be kind of tall, so this will kind of give you more length to scoop without getting your hands dirty. But I like the thrifted one because I think it's just fun and has a little bit more character, and it's secondhand. And I also bring this mug for coffee in the morning. Definitely takes up space, so I usually clip this on the outside, and I bring it mostly because I think it looks cute and it's like a little accessory on the outside of my backpack. So Anthony has this collapsible cup, which obviously helps with space since it's collapsible. Now our water filter. This is our second water filter, actually. The first one that we had, at first we had a Sawyer water filter, which worked great for the first few backpacking trips that we had. But once that backpacking season ended and we went on the first backpacking trip of last year, the water filter was just super slow. And our friend recommended that we try this one out, which has been great. Then for a water bottle, we bring the Smart water bottles usually, just because they're nice and lightweight. We basically just reuse them over and over, just wash them once we get home. I also have my Nalgene water bottle, which I really like. Something nice though is that Nalgene does replace the caps for you, because mine started to rip kind of like where the connector is. So I submitted like a request online and Nalgene just sent me a replacement. It's not the same color as what I originally had, unfortunately, but at least I can still use the water bottle. And we have our Bear canister to store our food and scented items. Okay, so now we can talk about the car camping food situation, which is completely different from backpacking. With car camping, you can just bring whatever fits in your car and you can go crazy with the meals, or you can be pretty simple. I know initially we used to be pretty simple. We'd just bring like cans of chili, crack an egg in them, have hot dogs and stuff. But some recent car camping trips, we like had boiling crab, Korean barbecue, and most recently paella. When we go car camping, the cookware does vary depending on the type of meals that we're having, but what we will usually bring is a gas stove, which is helpful if there's a burn ban. So depending on the conditions of the area that you'll be camping at, there could be a burn ban, which means you won't be able to have wood fires. For pans, we like using a cast iron skillet just because that's easiest to clean. You just like burn everything off. We also bring like another regular pan. Wood spoon's helpful, tongs. We have a wood cutting board and a good knife. Then we also have our cooler. Okay, now on to the bathroom situation. For backpacking, you'll need to learn how to go in the wilderness, and there's kind of guidelines for that. Basically, if you have to poop, you gotta dig a hole. And if you have to pee, it's best to do it away from the trail, away from water sources, away from campsites. We have a trowel. I actually have not had to poop in the wilderness before, but we have used this once, and it was to bury Manny's poop when he went backpacking with us. I also have this towel. This was really useful when we went backpacking to one of the lakes here. Jumping in the lake was like one of the best decisions we made on that trip, I think, because we were so sweaty, and I feel like after that it just like woke me up more and I felt way cleaner than having dried sweat on me. So I have this toiletries pouch. I don't always bring it backpacking just because to save space, I'll just throw whatever I need into the various pouches that my backpack already has. It has this little hook, so when you're in the bathroom, you can just hang it. Then for the clothing situation, I actually have a whole separate video on what I wear hiking, backpacking, and camping. So I'll have that video in the description box, but also I'll link it up in the card so you can check that video out. Now onto the useful stuff category. So the first thing is a headlamp. Very useful. I've gone camping without this before, and it's just nice to be able to have light without using your hands, and just like wherever you look, the light is already pointing. A first aid kit. This is just one from REI. It contains survival tools, bandage materials, blister burn, instrument, medication, and wound care. Then walkie-talkies. Anthony likes these just because they look cool, but they're actually kind of helpful. Anthony and I brought these on one of the backpacking trips where it was just the two of us, and we were kind of like exploring around, and he went fishing and I was just like not fishing. So it was helpful to have, so at least we had a way to communicate with each other. I have my power bank, which I use to charge my phone. We also have bug spray. During the summer months here, the bugs can get pretty bad. And specifically for car camping, we have a hatchet for cutting wood. So now the stuff that you can bring to have some more fun. So you can bring a Bluetooth speaker and headphones. You can also bring some games, Spot It, crowd fave, code names. We actually did bring this backpacking once, and it's nice because you just have to bring like a few of the cards and also a hammock if you have space. Always bring this when I go car camping. So this is the hammock. Then at the end of the hammock, there are loops where you can attach the straps, and the straps basically you'll put on the tree. Then there are like multiple loops on the straps so that it's easy for you to adjust where you're going to clip the hammock. So we have these two camping chairs, which perfectly match our backpacks. Both of them are from REI. Don't usually bring them backpacking. We did once. The hike-in was a lot shorter, so we figured we could add the extra weight just so we could sit on these, but always use these during camping. And then fishing poles, if you're into fishing. I'm not into fishing, but Anthony's into fishing. He did go fly fishing on one of our backpacking trips, but he brought like a 2-piece fly fishing rod, so that's stuck up like super high above his head. But Anthony recommends bringing at least a 4-piece minimum fishing rod. Okay, now onto the camera gear that I bring to make these lovely YouTube videos. My main camera is my Sony a7C with a Tamron lens, which I'm recording on right now. That was an upgrade from the Canon G7X, which I used for so many years for all my vlogs, all my videos. I don't have any extra camera batteries that I bring for this because the camera battery life is actually pretty good and lasts through all of my camping trips and backpacking trips. But for the Canon G7X, I did have an extra battery or two, I think just one extra battery that I would bring just in case. Then also I use my iPhone to record some footage as well. For tripods, I have this Joby Gorilla Pod. Basically like the same thing Casey Neistat uses, which everyone knows. A lot of vloggers hold these, you know, in front of them. And then I also have my bigger tripod, which I'm using right now that you guys are standing on. I brought this once backpacking and it is kind of heavy, but I feel like it was pretty worth it because it allowed me to like have a couple shots like talking to the camera like this from a decent distance and at a decent height. So don't regret bringing it, but again, it's just extra weight. Then I have my film camera, which is this Argus M5500D. It's just like a point and shoot film camera, nothing really special about it. My sister got this for me for Christmas on Depop. This is basically what I use for all of my film photos, which you can see on my Instagram. I usually throw them up in a lot of my videos as well. Something else that I would also use before getting that point and shoot film camera was a disposable film camera. Then for microphone, yeah, so I have this Rode mic with this little dead cat windscreen thing. I don't know how much of a difference it makes. I think it probably makes a good enough difference, but I just haven't really recorded anything where I could tell the difference, so I don't bring this all the time. New to my gear is this Peak Design clip. I can attach this to my backpack strap and then mount my camera on this so that the camera is like hanging on me here and is easily accessible. Can't wait to try this the next time I go hiking or backpacking. Okay, now on to Manny's stuff. Manny's my dog. Full name Manny Pacquiao, aka Manny Boy, aka Mr. Man. So we have his harness, this waist leash, which our friend got us actually, which is so nice to have because it keeps him attached to us and we're hands-free because we don't have to hold a leash. We have his collapsible water bowl, which is really nice. Usually we'll clip that just on the outside of one of our backpacks. And then a blanket for him to sleep in when he sleeps with us in the tent. Eventually we'll get a dog sleeping bag. A lot of the times he goes to sleep with a blanket on top of him, but he never ends up under the blanket. He's always just on top of it. And then we have this stake that we put in the ground, which is so useful for car camping trips. Even when we're just like hanging out at a park or something outside, we'll stake it into the ground and then attach his leash to the stake so that he can roam around. So yeah, that is all my backpacking and camping gear. I'm sure there'll be updates, especially as our baby starts to go backpacking with us. I'm actually surprised that we were able to get through this whole video without her waking up. So thanks for sticking with me until the end here. I have all the links in the description box. If you have any questions or if you have any gear recommendations, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.